Hello, everyone. Ian Smith here with fedsmith.com. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome to all the new subscribers who've subscribed to the channel recently. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not familiar with FedSmith, since we do have so many new subscribers, we're an online news service for current and former federal employees. And we publish articles and items of interest for topics such as pay, benefits, retirement, the thrift savings plan, things that can help you in your federal career. So today I wanted to talk to you about the FAIR Act. That's F-A-I-R, not F-A-R-E, and it stands for the Federal Adjustment of Income Rates Act. It was introduced in the House by Congressman Jerry Connolly, Democrat from Virginia, and in the Senate by Senator Brian Schatz, Democrat from Hawaii. This bill has been introduced every year since 2014, so it's become something of an annual tradition. Not sure what the backstory is on how these two teamed up on this bill. Connolly, I understand. He's in Virginia. There's a lot of federal employees there, and no doubt he has quite a few constituents in his district. But Schatz, I'm not sure, because relative to Virginia, at least, there aren't nearly as many federal employees in Hawaii. But at any rate, the legislation is proposing a 4.3% pay raise for federal employees in 2026. But before you get too excited, again, as I mentioned, this is introduced every year, and it's largely symbolic. I say that because it's never been signed into law. And the pay raise it proposes is always higher than what ends up actually being enacted. And if you take a look at this table, I'll put it up on the screen for you. As I said, it dates back to 2014. That was the year it was first introduced. It says 2015 there because it's referencing the 2015 pay raise. So that year there was a 3.3% raise proposed under the FAIR Act. Federal employees ended up actually getting a 1% raise, so a 2.3% difference. That far right column is the difference between what the FAIR Act proposed and what federal employees ended up actually getting. Obviously, we don't know yet what the pay raise is going to end up being for 2026, but it gives you an idea of the spread between this bill and the actual raises. 2025, as you can see, that was the biggest discrepancy by far, 5.4%, because it proposed a 7.4% pay raise, and then federal employees this year actually got a 2% raise. So the history on this bill certainly suggests that federal employees are going to get a raise that's less than 4.3%. What that's actually going to be remains to be seen. I don't know. But the bill, as I said, it is largely symbolic, but it does serve to kick off the annual pay raise process each year. The next step will be the White House budget proposal. That usually happens in the spring, February, March, somewhere in there. And in that case, or when that comes out, the president will propose a pay raise for federal employees for the coming year. It is almost always included in the White House budget proposal. The next step after that is in August, the president will issue the annual pay plan letter. That's one extra step towards formalizing the pay raise for the coming year. After that, the next thing that's most likely to happen is an executive order is issued in December, which finalizes the pay raise for the coming year. That's typically late December, but it can vary. This past December, it was on the 19th, if I recall correctly. It was just a few days before Christmas. And then in conjunction with that, the Office of Personnel Management will issue pay tables to finalize the pay rates for the coming year for the pay raise. So like the general schedule base table and the locality pay areas. The one wild card in all of this is that at any point throughout the year, Congress could pass legislation that enacts a pay raise for federal employees and overrides whatever the president has proposed. And that's what this bill is doing. So any legislation that Congress passes obviously would have to pass both the House and the Senate and be signed into law by the president. Odds are it would be not a standalone bill like this one is, but it would be lumped in another spending bill. So that usually does not happen, though. It's more the process I laid out where it's all dictated by the White House is what usually happens. But Congress can get involved, and sometimes they do. One other thing I wanted to mention as well with respect to the pay raise is don't confuse the annual pay raise with the annual COLA. We see comments from our readers sometimes that indicate they've mixed the two up, and I understand it. It's confusing. There's a lot of terminology. It's a complex process, so it's a very understandable confusion, certainly. But the annual pay raise is part of a political process that I just outlined involving Congress and the White House. So the pay raise changes every year. It is subject to politics in that sense. The COLA, however, only applies to retired federal employees, unlike the pay raise, which again is only for current federal employees. The COLA, that stands for cost of living adjustment, and it's based on a formula dictated by the CPI, Consumer Price Index. It will vary each year, but it's dictated solely by a formula. It's not based on politics, so, or at least any actions of Congress and the White House in that sense. So I just wanted to clarify those two because I know, again, it's complex and there can be confusion around this subject. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please remember to like and subscribe, and also share it with anyone else who you think might benefit from it. And please also visit fedsmith.com. Our videos tend to be more short form, you could say, whereas the articles on our site go into more detail on different subjects, and we also cover a lot more topics on our website. We also have a free email list you can subscribe to on the fedsmith.com website. Emails are sent 2 to 3 times a week, and you can get updates regarding articles that we've published straight into your inbox through that. Have a good day.